What's up, everybody? Azariel here for a video of which I don't really do too many of. I think the last time I did some type of wrestling review was back in back during Wrestlemania 28 when I did like a full recap on like another channel that I had. But other than that, I don't really do wrestling reviews. But that doesn't mean I'm not capable of doing it, because I still talk about it with my friends in private and we go back and forth like Smarks do on YouTube. It's just that my channel is primarily video gaming and things of that nature. I don't really do reviews when it comes to wrestling. But I think this was an interesting story, and I think there's some interesting points that needs to be spoken on that, from what I'm seeing and all the videos that I've seen, a lot of people just aren't touching on. And these things need to be said. So spread the video around. Anytime you see somebody getting all crazy because this particular thing happened, I mean, you guys see it right here. Now, again, I'm not going to review WrestleMania 30 in its entirety. I'm only going to be talking about this one particular match. Now, overall, WrestleMania 30 for me was very surprising and bittersweet, because it was a couple things that happened on there that I wasn't too proud of, but however, it was a lot of things on there and some unexpected surprises that I really liked. With Antonio Cesaro, with him winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy by tossing the Big Show over the top rope, literally body slamming him over the top rope to get the win. That was impressive. That guy is, Antonio Cesaro is freakishly strong for his size. That's one thing that can be said about him. And if I'm not mistaken, Mark Henry had also mentioned that at one point, that Antonio Cesaro is freakishly strong for his size. And after seeing that, man, I can't do nothing but agree. And even Big Show had to acknowledge, that, hey, he was the better man, because that was awesome. And with Daniel Bryan finally achieving, what he so rightfully deserves, the WWE World Heavyweight title, in a triple threat, he wins that. So it was a lot of things in there that I was happy with for the most part, but however, this one particular match, it doesn't necessarily bother me as much as it does other people, because I'm not necessarily a quote-unquote wrestling fanboy, so I don't really care too much. All I really cares about is just getting a good show. I don't care who wins or loses, just as long as it makes sense that this person wins or loses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and another thing I wasn't too happy about, John Cena beating Bray Wyatt. It kind of makes the build-up that they had for Bray Wyatt, sound like, what the fuck, Anyway, but yeah, back to this. As you can see, I'm on Hustlers or Hustlers.com, and this article came up. Now, anytime I see articles like this, I just take it as a rumor until something, actually happens. I just take it as a rumor. And as you see right here, Undertaker losing at WrestleMania 30 to Brock Lesnar apparently was a mistake, says owner Vince McMahon. Now, what happened was, after the match, Vince was privately interviewed by some reporters, and again, this is all according to this article. As you can see down here, I'm gonna scroll down. Plus, I'm gonna have the link in the description so you guys can see. But apparently, Vince was privately interviewed by some reporters, and he said that Brock Lesnar had changed the script and he will be fired. So again, this is all based under the precedent that this is actually true. Again, which is a rumor that can only be taken as a rumor until something actually happens. Now, here's my take on it. How come everybody's pointing the finger at Brock Lesnar when he wasn't the only factor in that match that caused the Undertaker to lose? Like, we really have to look at everything here. Now, there's some other interesting points that I want to touch on, but first let me speak on this. Exactly how did Brock Lesnar change the script? You know, how did he influence all these other people that are involved that he was the one that was supposed to win? I mean, you know, like you have to confirm this with some other people, like before that actually happens, right? Like I'm not understanding exactly what is going on. Um, you know, like you can't just blame Brock Lesnar here. The first one of the people you have to blame, truth be told, in all honesty, is the Undertaker himself, because the person getting pinned, it's his job to get his shoulder up. You know, another person you can blame is the referee, because he was counting faster than normal. You know, normally like the count is 1, 2, 3. No, he went 1, 2. You know what I'm saying? Like he was counting really fast. Now this could be because the production team on the side was kind of telling him to wrap it up. You know, and like whoever gets the next pin, you know, that's the guy that wins. Or, you know, I don't know what the case was, but the referee was counting faster than normal. So I guess you can blame him, you know, for counting too fast and not giving the Undertaker the, you know, like the regular time needed to get his arm up. Because if you notice, for the people that watched the match, at the very last second, the Undertaker tried to get his arm up, but he just like gave out, and it was like, oh fuck it, you know what I mean? And you know, like you can't just put all the blame on Brock Lesnar though. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that last F5, well, actually, you know, here's like a little spoiler to what caused all this. The Undertaker was going for his second Tombstone Pile Driver, but Brock Lesnar had reversed it into an F5. When he did that, he pinned the Undertaker, and you know, then he got the win. Now I don't know if that F5 had took all the wind out of Undertaker to where he couldn't respond, or you know what the case may be, but Brock Lesnar beat him. And again, I don't see how Brock Lesnar is the only person to blame here when there's other people involved that caused Brock Lesnar to get that win. Paul Heyman didn't even get involved at all, and or to my knowledge, I didn't watch all the match, but at that last minute, you know, Paul Heyman didn't get involved. Like he didn't mess with the referee, or he didn't do anything to the Undertaker, or whatever the case was. You know, he just, you know, was on the side. And another thing that doesn't bother me is that the Undertaker lost. You know, a lot of people are going to get mad and say, "Oh my God, how can you say that? He's the Undertaker. He's supposed to retire with an undefeated streak." Listen, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Undertaker even mentioned that he wanted to lose the streak to somebody that was going to be, you know, that could really use that in their career. You know what I'm saying? Or he said something similar to that, you know, at one point. I could be mistaken, but you know, like he said that at one point, and I agree. Like to me, I'm looking at the loss like this. I'm not mad that the Undertaker lost, but I'm mad who he lost to. When you get a victory such as one over the Undertaker at WrestleMania, that is a major career booster. And this is something that should be held in, or should have been given to someone who is going to have a career in the WWE for that is going to be consistent with appearances, somebody who's going to be consistent in the WWE for years to come. You know, Brock Lesnar, he's on part-time in his career. Like, you know, he was already a force to be reckoned with. I don't see how this necessarily helps him. You know, he's already somebody that has had it. He's been the youngest world champion at one point. I mean, Like, the guy has been devastating during his earlier days in the WWE. Like, people knew who Brock Lesnar was. Like, his wrestling career was already there, you know. Instead, and with him being part-time, that raises even more questions. Why would you give this to somebody who's not even going to be there consistently? You know, Brock Lesnar is on a part-time schedule. Maybe they changed it, you know, but people said that, you know, Brock Lesnar doesn't like to travel, and with the way he's been appearing, I can only assume that that is true. Um, but this is something that you would reserve for somebody who's going to be a mainstay in WWE for years to come. But then again, on the flip side of that, you got to ask yourself, if they were planning on Undertaker losing, who exactly would have been the guy that he would have lost to? You know, I mean, you can argue that Roman Reigns would have been one of them, but he's off in this other storyline with the Shield, you know, and like they're pushing that group over here. Then you got Daniel Bryan, who was in the title picture, and they're pushing him over here, you know, and those two being pretty much like the only arguments, you know, and with CM Punk not there, I mean, who did they build up to, you know, to be credible enough to take the win? Thing is, nobody. So in many ways, the WWE has nobody but themselves to blame, because they've been doing a shit job of building new superstars that are credible to take the win from the Undertaker. I mean, seriously, they've had plenty of opportunities to build up certain superstars in order to get the win, and they dropped the ball so many times in recent years alone, you know, that you couldn't see anybody beating the Undertaker really anytime it was a match. Like, he was just another, like, that person really was just another victim for the Undertaker, you know. So looking at it from the perspective that they actually wanted him to lose, or that he wanted to lose at WrestleMania 30, who else was he going to be? Really, like, who else was going to be the guy to take it, you know? And you can say that, oh, well, there's always WrestleMania 31. They could have waited till WrestleMania 32. You don't know how much gas Undertaker has left in the tank. Yeah, he may look like he can still go, but, you know, the way he was walking out that building, he was having trouble standing up. I mean, yeah, after a match like that, anybody would, but you have to ask yourself, you know, saying like, the Undertaker is how old? How much energy, like, really, how much gas does he have left in the tank? Who's to say that he would have made another WrestleMania? You know, maybe he just doesn't have the energy. Yeah, he has the entire year to get his energy back up, but who's to say that he would have had any more energy left? You know, who's to say that he would have had one more in him? You know, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm willing to bet anything that the Undertaker feels the same way, when it comes to him wanting to lose to somebody that is going to be like the next guy in WWE, like the next top guy in the business, one of those up and comers that shows great promise and is showing that he can be very devastating. Who would have been that guy? There wasn't anybody really for him to face, with everybody else doing, with arguably two other guys were going in separate directions, clearly not even, you know, building up to the Undertaker. It was really nobody else that could have took the win. So WWE at the end of the day has nobody but themselves to blame. This is what happens when you don't build superstars properly. This is what happens when you constantly bury people, even though that's an abused term. Literally, this is what happens when you continuously bury people. It was a lot of superstars that really could have been the guy at this point. A lot, and I can easily count 10 people right now off the top of my head. Had they been built properly, they could have been the ones to take out or really take the win over the Undertaker at WrestleMania or at a WrestleMania. But Brock Lesnar was it, and I don't know, man. We'll see tomorrow. Well, actually, it's Monday. Technically, it's Monday now, but we'll see what happens this Monday night. So that's basically me speaking my piece on it. I don't really think that it was quote unquote, you know, planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it was planned to happen, but it happened because it could be that they were just playing it off like that, but everybody was in shock. Not the fans. I'm not talking about them, but you can tell by the way things went after Brock Lesnar had got the pin. Kind of like the way the announcers were talking, like the way Paul Heyman reacted, the way, or like the look on Brock Lesnar's face, and even the way Undertaker was walking out, like he didn't even do like his little signature pose. Then again, he didn't get the victory, so I don't see what would be the point in doing that anyway. But yeah, like it was a lot of things, So like, even Brock Lesnar's music didn't play after he got the win, and the announcer didn't even mention that Brock Lesnar had won until like literally like 2 to 3 minutes after he got the pin. Like it took him that long to announce it. So I'm not sure that. So I'm not arguing that there was a mistake made, but I'm pretty much just saying that Brock Lesnar isn't the only one to point the finger at here. You got WWE for one. Well, yeah, WWE for one, for allowing Brock Lesnar to be so quote unquote influential if this really was a mistake. Because again, they could be just playing it off like that. Because it is a scripted program. They could just they really could have been just acting. Like the production team that took forever to play Brock Lesnar's music, the announcer taking forever to announce him as the winner. You know what I mean? It could be just one big, act. But if Brock Lesnar is supposed to get, quote unquote get fired, then I mean, why just him? Let's look at everybody else that was involved here. Undertaker didn't get up in time. Maybe they were expecting Brock Lesnar to, try to fake that he got up or whatever. Then you gotta look at the referee for counting too damn fast. Like there's some other players involved here that I think needs to be taken a look at before you start firing Brock Lesnar. So again, I'm just taking this as a rumor until something actually happens with it. Because again, I don't know how credible Hustlers.com is when it comes to wrestling news. I've never been on this website before, so maybe one of you guys can tell me. But yeah, man, that's just my thoughts on it. I don't really care too much. Really, when it comes to WrestleMania 30, the only thing that I can honestly say that I'm really disappointed in is that Bray Wyatt didn't get the win over John Cena. And that's basically it. It's like logically it didn't make sense for John Cena to win that match. It really didn't. But that's WWE for you. Daniel Bryan, I'm surprised they didn't fuck him over, but hey, I'm planning on him to get stripped of the title come Monday Night Raw, because when he did that dive out the ring and he hit Triple H, he knocked over Stephanie, and I don't know if anybody else paid attention, but Stephanie kind of was like um, holding her ankle, trying to play it off that, like that she had injured her ankle when Daniel Bryan had dived off the ring. So I don't know if they're gonna use that to try to strip Daniel Bryan of the championship in some way, or maybe they're just gonna continuously force him to defend it each and every week. you know, like I don't know, but Monday Night Raw is gonna be interesting. Um, yeah, so that's basically it, man. That's everything. Again, I don't do too many of these. It's very rare that I do them, but I still think it was something interesting to talk about. And like the link to this will be in the description, so you guys can look at the article yourselves. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, peace. Take care.